Hello shareholders, and I'd like to start with a thank you and well done to shareholder Rafał Konstanty, who got in touch with us about the situation in his home country Poland, where the Antis have hijacked a bill and pretty well banned hunting, certainly stopped anyone under the age of 18 from either going shooting or even accompanying anyone else going shooting. It goes in front of the President on the 23rd of March. He's the last hurdle. He's anti-hunting. There's not much hope, but thanks to our story, FACE, which is the European pro-hunting group, and Safari Club International have both got involved, and you never know, every little helps. Poland, what's that got to do with the UK? Probably not very much, and even less from March next year. But you know what they say about economics, America sneezes, the rest of the world catches a cold. Well, if one European country does something like this, it's a sneeze, and the rest of Europe risks catching that cold. A couple more news items we need to stay on top of, thanks to Patrick Angier for bringing up sporting rates in Scotland, plus this whole question of getting doctors to OK your shotgun and your firearm certificate. We'll be covering that in the Year in the Life of Red Deer, which we hope will be signed off soon, as I said before. And apparently we've been applauded for our mature journalism for that particular series. I know. From Redster Rucksacks, and Nigel Appleton wants a rucksack. So he suggested a rucksack review, and that's a perfectly good reason to suggest a rucksack review. What worked well this week is a shout out on Instagram entitled Field Sports Nation, you are needed. We got great fast feedback when a viewer asked about the best scope for his ticker. So tell us what you need, Nigel, and we'll get the Field Sports Nation to offer some sage advice. It could evolve into being a bit like Gear Tester, which runs very well in Germany. Have a look at geartester.de. Now, this week's show, we've been out with Messrs Childerley and Doyle of Shooting Show fame, just to say that Jason will, we hope, be doing a lot more for us, and we'll let you know more about that when we know it. Anyway, we're after a Chinese water deer with interesting camera angles. Other stuff this week, David wants more cameras, no change there, but he's earning some money back on eBay by putting his old ones there. We're also toying with the idea of a podcast. The Pace brothers do a great job with theirs. We're thinking we can compile lots of snippets from people, including Q&As, as we film the show, sticking them all together. What do you think? Are you podcast listeners as well as YouTube viewers? Next, suggestions for us to sell shooting insurance. Tricky one, busy market. Ken Payne, Blaze, Fontaine and Sprocker321 on YouTube all ask, should we be offering insurance? Well, I think the magazines have run into some problems offering insurance when the organisations do it very well. So bit nervous about that. However, we should certainly be reviewing insurance. We looked at this before when Alfie Oldring was injured by a shot from a shotgun and a pigeon hide. Read the small print. Another idea is group reviews. We're doing them. We had rifles under 500 quid the other week, but getting them all there at the same time can be interesting. The multi-review, where there's a few guys testing, is the fairest way to do it, we think. If you have specific comparisons you'd like to see, let us know. Andy Lawrence, Nigel Appleton again, can't keep a good man down. Darren, Kilner and Helen Stammers all support the Field Sports approved idea I talked about last week. Well, we're coming to rest, having battered it around a bit, on the idea of nominating local shooting heroes or something like that. Now we come to the question of frequency. Well, we're helping one of our clients with something that will probably turn into some kind of annual dinner. So I'd like to propose that we put that over to them and see if they'll pay for the whole thing, which of course I hope they will. I still like the idea of a kite mark. Andre Crossland says he would like us to do more on disabled shooting, and maybe a kite mark idea would work here too, pointing out shoots where disabled people, able people can go, perhaps a sort of star rating. Well, have a think about that, let me know what you think. Not sure I'll mention this one to Roy, as he got David to take him out stalking in a wheelchair after his 26th operation on his hips. Yes, just the 26. Further to Chris Carter's suggestion of restoration projects for under 200 quid, James Dove wants the same thing. I'll be looking to the auction houses perhaps for paying for that when he points to the films of the gun shop Botley. Might have mentioned that last week. Anyway, since then I've got Jamie Chandler, our airgunning reviewer, to go over and do a piece on the airgun range next to the gun shop at Botley. Lots of you want to see airheads, lots of you want to see more on reloading. Callum Hepburn, Mark Marn, and on YouTube, Jack T, Cal and Blaze Fontaine. I'd like to let the dust settle a little bit after EWA and then go back to the sponsors and ask them to pick that one up and see if we can make a series. I'm thinking Roy Lupton answering a series of Q&As on reloading, short 90-second items to go after the news. One tiny hiccup this week, YouTube has accidentally banned reloading. it's put out new guidance on firearms which says we can't show people making their own ammunition. Now I think they're thinking backyard bomb making, not licensed home loading. So I've asked for clarification on that. We do have good links with YouTube. Steve Kearney wants to know if there's a difference in the price of cartridges around the UK, and there is always interest in which cartridges do what. That's quite a nice news story, and I wonder if a call to just cartridges will give us a national barometer. So we've got quite a few lists now. We've got the reviews, we've got the get starteds, we've got the eat its, we've got the Q&As, and we've got the famous people who hunts, which I hope will be out next week. I've put all of these lists with all the ideas you've come up with so far in the email I sent out and in the description below this YouTube film, so have a look, have a gander, let me know if there's anything I've missed out, and get in touch please. Now the big one we've been working on for a few weeks, it's the Eat It series, and you'll be pleased to know that in this week's show we have the first of the short items after news. It's a recipe for rabbit meatballs from Kai, and that's all thanks to you. Kai filmed some recipes to promote his business, Game and Flames. They needed a home, so we're editing and running them in the show. They are fast, tasty recipes, and for ease of production we are featuring the hunting element in other projects. Kai was wondering if he could go out with Andy, get him to shoot a pigeon, and see how quickly he can breast it, cook it and serve it. Andy doesn't eat when he's shooting, so David, don't get sticky fingers on your new camera. Nigel Appleton, he's back, points out I have been flip-flopping around a bit with this idea, contradicting myself, but I hope we're reaching a point where this is going to work. Have a look tomorrow and let me know what you think. Mark Nix suggests an extension to the Eat It idea where we perhaps put... Oh, the light's gone out. I will just have to fiddle with the editing suite a little bit there. Oh, bit bright. There, that's better. Now Mark Nix suggests an extension to the Eat It idea where we use recipes from stalkers and perhaps from deer management groups where they send them in. Now I think this could also work as a little mini website, a little bit like our map from last week, but it's more of a kind of hub for game meat recipes. And the way I think this could work is if we take what's already out there, the BBC stuff, the Jamie Oliver stuff, and we put them into the web page, and then we get our viewers to suggest improvements to those recipes, and it becomes a kind of centre for game meat cooking and an add-on to what everybody else is doing. As Mark Mann says, game is misunderstood and underrated by the British public. And finally, my favourite 2 words, Gary Magin asks what this is for that he received in the post. This is the gun mat, though shareholder Helena Venables suggests it might be better as a dog blanket. Thank you, Helena. Next week, what the Maltese are doing to promote spring hunting and to hit back at Chris Packham. Plus, I'll have more on Out of Town too. Thank you very much, Moose, for that. I'll see you then.